Hey guys, welcome back. Sometimes we got to pay attention to macroeconomics when we're thinking about taking a position, whether it's the housing market or the stock market. So let's get into it. Now, I've got a tweet here from the Kobesi letter. I'll show it on the screen here. And it's the recent layoff announcements. Okay, I'm going to read them off one by one and let's talk about it. So first things first, UPS is laying off 48,000 employees. Now, unfortunately for me, I had just sold 5 contracts, covered calls at $87 strike prices. And when that announcement hit, the stock flew all the way up to $97 a share. So I missed out on approximately $5,000 in profit. I'm going to have to sell these shares in about 2 hours when these contracts expire, unfortunately. But that's the reality of the stock market, and that's the reality of when layoffs occur, okay? Companies are in the business of making money, and you need to understand that, okay? Especially if you work for one of these big companies. So I feel sorry for anyone at UPS or any of these other companies if you got laid off. We'll talk about this. Amazon, up to 30,000 employees. Intel, 24K. Nestle, 16,000. Accenture, 11,000. Ford, 11,000. Novo Nordisk, 9,000. That's a pharmaceutical company if you don't know. Microsoft, 7,000. And they just recently laid off another couple thousand the year before due to AI. PwC, 5,600, Salesforce, 4,000, Paramount, 2,000, Target, 1,800, Kroger, 1,000 employees, Applied Materials, 1,400, Meta, 600 employees. The labor market is clearly weakening. And isn't that the truth? Now, Target, that stock popped a little, but it sold way back down. I'm in another covered call on Target a couple weeks out, a little longer dated. We'll see what happens there. But that stock could rise up as well if it goes to the moon because they keep laying off more employees. And this is all due to AI automation. I've talked about this in the past with these AI agents. These agents that all these AI companies, AWS, Microsoft, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, they're building this agent platform that can basically do white collar work. It can go in your email, and if you get an email in there, it can inspect it and process it accordingly. It can respond to the person on the other end, and they may never know the difference. And who knows, it could be an AI on the other end, right? The AI does an email, it does an email back, so on and so forth. But that's not really what this video is about. It's about making sure you pay attention to macroeconomics, because when you hear news like this and it doesn't affect you, you may think otherwise. You may think, oh, it's no big deal, it's not going to affect me, but it will if you're trying to make big, bold decisions in your life, especially big financial ones. Because with all those layoffs, all those people are going to flood the job market, okay? It's going to lower wages in general. What else is it going to do? You got to think about these things. It's also going to force some people who can't find another job to possibly liquidate their position, whether it be stocks, whether it be the real estate market, etc., etc. And they're going to spend less money. And what does that mean? Well, you get this snowball effect happening. All those jobs that are lost, they're going to spend less. Now that means that some other layoffs might occur from that. And so those people will spend less and spend less. And it's a vicious cycle. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you're in the market to buy a house, be aware the job market might be weakening quite a bit. So be aware that you need to have a good, secure job, even though there really isn't such a thing out there. But you better have some conviction in your skills to compete out there, because all those people now are ready to take your job, okay? So you better have conviction in it, and you better be patient, because this is going to take time to unravel, okay? We're seeing it unravel little by little. You're starting to see a weakening in the housing market. You've got more and more houses for sale than buyers. So what's going to happen is the asking price of every house out there in the United States is going to come down. It's going to come down a little more and a little more and a little more. because now they're going to have even more competition to sell your property, because all these people who got laid off, they're probably all leveraged to the teeth, and they're going to have to sell their house, okay? And they're probably going to have to lower the asking price. So if you're in the market for a house, be patient. Maybe take 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, dare I say 18 months. That's how long this can take to unravel itself, to get the economy back going. Because this AI replacement is not going to end anytime soon. This is just the beginning. This is just one announcement. There'll be another one next quarter or next month. Every company, big company out there, is pursuing these AI agents and AI tools to where they don't have to hire anyone, or they can just have a minimal skeleton crew staff at their company. That's how my company's rolling. We got a really small company, and everyone there can be super productive with AI. So we don't plan on hiring anyone anytime soon. No desire. And that's the way most companies out there are thinking. That's the way they're thinking. So again, if you're going to take a position in that, be aware of that. Take your time with the housing market. You got time, guys. I think the market's going to dip a little bit. That's just my speculation on the housing market. I wouldn't have a problem with it because I'm not in the market, and I don't care if my house goes lower. I do not believe houses are an asset by any means. They are a liability. They don't bring in income like a stock does. A stock's an asset because it can bring in income or valuation increases. But houses, yes, they bring in some valuation increases. But I saw a chart the other day. I'll bring it up here, right here. This chart shows the S&P versus the housing market. The S&P is like a 7x versus a housing market. I saw a tweet the other day. If you bought a house in San Francisco for $1 million in 2010, it'd be worth about $2 million today. If you bought the S&P in 2010 with $1 million, it's worth $7 million. You see the difference there, guys? Stock market is assets. Houses are liabilities. I mean, unless you're going to run a whole rental business and renting houses for income, that's a different story. But where was I going with that? I think you have time. You have time to find a place if you're looking for it. If you've been positioning yourself, saving your money, building up a down payment, take your time. No rush, okay? Now, as far as stocks are concerned, I think there's two markets, okay? If you're looking to get into stocks because you want them on a discount, I think the AI trade and the AI stocks, that's going to be really difficult to get a discount on. Maybe we could see a 5% drop. Maybe we get some news. We might see 5% drop in the QQQs. Maybe you could nibble a little bit there. Again, I can't tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. I'm not a financial professional. But, you see those days, maybe acquire a few little shares here and there of the companies you desire. I don't think that market's going south anytime soon. I don't see the bubble bursting, okay? Because you're seeing it in the job numbers. Who's using these AI tools? It's all the big companies. They're paying for all these chips, and they're going to be paying more and more and more as time goes on. Now, there's the other side of the stock market, which is like the retail sector, consumer, cyclicals, industrials, pharmaceuticals, medical. That market has been in a bear market since 2021, ever since the Fed raised rates. And I still think it's kind of a bear market. There's some deals to be made there. There's some yields out there, like even UPS, for example. Even today, after that stock popped $10 a share, that yield is still around 7% yield. So there's some good opportunities out there in the markets. And if we do get a softer economy, we could see even further downside when it comes to like maybe stocks like Walmart and Target, good, healthy companies that are just going to see their numbers kind of dwindle a little bit, possibly. This is not like, I'm not like trying to take a huge bearish take in general. I still think there's good opportunities out there. And, even if we see a softening of the economy a bit, it's still a good time to buy. That's when you want to buy, is when the economy is getting soft. Now, you got to be careful, right? You got to have a good secure job. You got to have liquidity on your side in case you do lose your job. Because if you buy stocks at the low, they can always go lower. So you got to be aware of that. And you just got to be careful and be patient. These opportunities are going to be here today, tomorrow, and the next day. So Anyways, those are my thoughts on these job losses. I feel like it can be an opportunity for you, but be careful because I think we're going to see a snowball effect, okay? And be patient about it and build up that cash flow. Build up that savings you need to get that down payment. So, and take your time with it. So anyways, if you guys like this content, let me know in the comments below if you're trying to buy a house or you're trying to buy some stocks. And if you guys could, like and subscribe to the channel. Take a look at my previous video. And everyone have a great day. Thanks. Bye.